Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of Anime on the Rocks. I am, as always, Jack, aka Sinister Sheep, and with me is...
Peter, coming at you live with another episode of Anime on the Rocks isn't live.
Did I say live?
No, I said it.
Oh. Like Saturday Night Live.
Stop. So...
First off, we want to thank you guys for almost at the point of this recording, like 400 views on Garbage Take Doctor Strange review. That was a pleasant surprise.
That's good, man. That's
literally
good.
Minimum editing, but still, we got through it. Anyways, you want to start pouring out some drinks?
Sure. What do we got today, JJ? What do we got?
So we have Fat Tire, and then we have Samuel Adams Summer Ale. Very nice. And then some fucking cream.
Yeah.
All right, which one would you like to start off with?
I say let's go with the Fat Tire because I've never had it.
You will either hate it or love it.
I had an amber ale at this place called World of Beer in West Hartford. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you this question because me and my girlfriend were arguing about it the other day.
Okay.
Not really arguing, but like having a little.
No, you fought. You fought.
Yeah, she beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, no, she would.
I wanted to know if people have heard of West Farm or Blue Square.
Yeah, I've heard of Blue Square.
You've heard of Blue Square in West Hartford.
Mm-hmm.
I messaged like a bunch of fucking people that I knew in Danbury. And she was like, and they were all like, yeah, I don't know what Blue Square is.
Really?
And she was like, everybody fucking knows Blue Square. I'm like, yeah, because you live near West Hartford. We live on the other fucking side of Connecticut.
Yeah, I've only been there once or twice, but yes, sir. Anyways, would you like to pour one out for all the dead waifus? Just edit a bunch of dead waifus.
I'll just keep putting up Chiari or whatever her name is.
Or Penny from fucking Ruby.
Oh my god, I want to talk to you about that real quick. That fucking shit.
That's an excellent pour, my guy.
What's it called? So this episode's going to be a little different from the other ones because me and JJ have been bad weebs.
Let me just
say
this.
I have been.
I've actually watched anime, but it's nothing really new. The only new one is My World Domination. It's the Power Ranger parody or the
the romance one.
Yeah, the romance one. That one's okay. And then I started watching My Girlfriend Is a Cutie, and I dropped it because I was like, whatever. And then I'm catching up with Love Is War, but I'm not all the way caught up. And then I'm just watching One Piece, basically.
Yeah, I'm just watching Spy Family.
Oh,
I don't care. I mean, I want to watch Love Is War. I'll probably just wait until all the episodes are out and I'll watch it. And then probably same thing with Komi-san. Which, speaking of Komi-san, here's a little bit of anime talk. Recently, since between the last video and this one that we did together, maybe you and Marquis touched on Netflix earlier, but Netflix's stock...
we talked about it a little bit. Yeah.
Netflix's stock crashed hard due to their earnings report.
When you start a series and then don't finish it and then do that repeatedly, like your customers might feel hesitant to keep subscribing, especially when you just out of the blue be like, by the way, it's $20 a month or whatever the fuck it is. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess. And then they're like, by the way, we're going to cancel a bunch of these shows. Like they literally said for their initiative, one, they're going to do like a subscription where like there's ads, and the whole point of Netflix is like it's cool that it doesn't have any ads.
Yeah.
And two, like they're like all the true crime shit that like we're really like known for, we're gonna cancel a bunch of those projects. And it's like, isn't that like your core?
But I was gonna say
audience?
Like literally what we watch, like
yeah.
What like when I do like group sessions on Netflix, it's like murder documentaries.
Yeah.
Or if I'm like stupid fucking bored, I watched like the Nightcrawler documentary about the guy who like broke into
about the actual guy, no.
Yeah, not the
movie. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Who like broke into people's houses and killed them. I watched that, but like, I was really gonna touch on that. They're like getting rid of like 90% of their animation.
They got rid of
like,
Bone.
department.
I'm beyond pissed that they got rid of Bone.
Yeah, they got rid of a bunch of shit. Like even the writer got really
because the
mad about
man
it.
like he literally made like a cartoon panel explaining his experience, like the Charlie Brown type of situation, but with the Bones. It's like, hey, we're Cartoon Network. We would like to produce a Bone movie. And he's like, really? And they're like, yeah. And then throws up the football and doesn't kick it. And it's like, the whole Charlie Brown skit. I'm really explaining it retardedly, but stupid thing.
I'll cut it. Don't worry. Don't worry.
It's like Nickelodeon. It's like, hey, we would like to make a Bone series. And he's like, really? And they're like, yeah, canceled. And now Netflix is doing the same thing. Like, his whole response was just in a little, like, 9x3 comic book. And I'm like,
yeah, but it's like,
with Bone is so awesome. And it deserves, like, I almost want to make a whole video about, like, why Bone deserves to be, like, made, like how it could be a supplement for like Lord of the Rings, basically, because it's like kid-friendly Lord of the Rings, and it's actually well written, well paced, and it's really good. It begins and ends, and it's like, oh wow, that was fucking great, actually. Like
it's kind of sad that's where their head is going with like
to cut animation, like
when like it's a big draw,
unless if it's Hoops.
I'll say this. To be fair, what big besides like Arcane's great. And BoJack Horseman, like the only other animated show Netflix has.
That's that Nick Kroll one, right? The one that's really bad it's about sex.
Big Mouth is Mouth. Like Big Mouth, and it's like everyone in the animation, everybody fucking hates it. Yeah. Not to rack on any other animation that's on Netflix. Like then you've got the anime side, which is premiering weekly. Yeah. And
poor JoJo fans.
Now, like, with part 6, like they're completely butchering it because of the way it's being released versus the way it's animated. And like I don't mind weekly releases. I think that's the thing. A lot of people are saying now, like the binge model is no longer viable. Right. Because to your point, like you release one season of a show, it all comes out in an instant, but like
people are in different places,
spots.
So that's why in social media you don't get that like, oh, this series is really good.
Squid Game,
everyone is everywhere.
You've got like lightning in a bottle situations like Squid Games, but
and it goes to the point on how Squid Games became successful is because like the fact that Netflix was so like barely had any content that people were like, I don't know, I'll try this Korean show out or whatever. And then it blew up.
A show that took 10 years to make.
Any other circumstances, like Squid Game would not blow up as it would if Netflix, had been more productive with its content and stuff like that. Like, literally because they were so negligent, people were like, I don't know what to watch. I guess I'll try this. And then people were like, wow, this is actually that
everybody's
really good.
Watching. Or it's like it was popular in Korea already. Right. So, like, people just watched it here. And then it's just like, what are they going to do? Wait another 10 years for the next Squid Game? Like, they can't. It's a company that's in a capitalist society where they have to continuously keep growing.
Well, like, someone actually in a video, and I don't know the YouTuber's name, I'm really sorry, but he made an excellent point where HBO Succession, you know that show? Yeah. Came out at the same time as Russian Doll, Netflix's show. And that actually...
I know this exact same fucking video that you're talking about.
And the Russian Doll actually got more views and Succession didn't have that much. But because HBO is committed to series and stuff, like then Succession season 2 came out and people were like, oh, this is actually a good show. Let me catch up on season 1. And then it grew way past Russian Doll. And now Succession's at like season 4 at this point. And now finally Russian Doll is at season 2. Like it took from the span of 4 seasons of Succession airing. Now finally.
Oh, that's Captain Midnight.
That's him. That's Captain Midnight. Yeah.
He's the only one that watches shows like Russian Doll. I mean, everybody does.
Yeah.
He's crazy. He's the same age as us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's just what's the point, right? Like, what is the point of making a show if you're not going to commit to it? And then at the same time, you'll keep churning out Stranger Things seasons with now their episodes are like $30 million an episode. That's like more than Game of Thrones.
And the kids have aged so much that they've practically pretty much had to redo everything because of COVID.
Yeah, they're like Billy Bobby Brown is like 19, 20. Like, come on. Like,
and they're supposed to. I didn't catch up with
granted,
Stranger Things
they jumped, to make it all make sense, they've jumped like
okay.
5-6 years into the future.
Yeah. You gotta love a time skip. I mean, Naruto pulled it off swell. That's not sarcasm.
It's just, I think that's like, it gives like, it's setting up like a bad
precedent.
Not a bad precedent, but like more like it's giving off like a bad vibe.
Yeah.
Which is a really shitty way of saying it sucks.
More toward animation. Like animation is gonna take the biggest hit out of.
Because like you think about it, and the worst part is that it's like with the anime side, like a lot of shows like JoJo's are tied through Netflix. Like, how are you gonna get those shows out of there?
There's a reason why Netflix Prison is a term.
Yeah, it's and now it's like at first it's like, all right, whatever, like it's not a big deal. Everybody has Netflix, but now it's like Netflix could lose its throne.
And I feel like because they were kind of the first of the game, like they have like a kind of attitude like, well, no one's gonna like we're fucking Netflix.
And then COVID happened. All these streaming services came out. Everybody wants to watch shows. If I had to choose
one streaming service, it'd straight up just be HBO Max. Like,
it's got an amazing category.
Yeah.
A catalog. Like for me, like it's Hulu. For me, it's Hulu.
Hulu's really good too, especially with anime and stuff.
It's got anime premiering at the same time, and it's got a catalog for Hulu shows, and then it's also got a catalog of
the only thing about
movies.
Hulu is their originals are not really good at all.
Well, like they got Atlanta playing on Hulu.
Exactly.
Like I don't really care.
Like I caught up with Atlanta, and Atlanta's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Definitely,
but like I haven't watched the new season yet.
I haven't
really
either. Marky, that's been bugging me.
It's just really, really, really annoying. That like it sucks.
It's
not annoying.
Weird.
It just sucks.
It's weird. Like for anime, I feel like at least for the Netflix ones, they'll get damaged more. But with the Crunchyroll, at least we have like all the anime stuff in one space. But like traditional anime or let's say Western anime, it's gonna take a huge hit because like Netflix
Western cartoons are gonna flop.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're not gonna take risks or anything like what they did with BoJack Horseman
and Arcane, like
and Arcane especially. Yeah,
like those two are like such
like
big shows, like Love, Death, and Robots or something like that too.
Dude, thank God there's a third season.
And that could be the last. That could be the last season.
It probably will be. Honestly.
And that kind of stinks for all those creators that are making those shows.
Yeah.
Because like and we talked about this the last time we talked, but like Smiling Friends was a big project that nobody wanted.
Yeah.
HBO gave it to the world.
Like pretty much only.
And everybody likes it.
Yeah. Pretty much only like Psychic Pebble loyalists were like really hyped about that, but before that, no one was really talking about it. And now it's like mainstream. It's their new Rick and Morty, basically.
Yeah.
Like they essentially struck gold. Basically, they're like, oh shit, because like
they're fucking posting videos about it on YouTube to get
so
people to watch
that
it.
Like Netflix can't understand this, but Adult Swim can, where it's like, oh, these internet people, like if we get them and like, you know, have them create whatever they want, then people will just go watch it because there's already an established fan base that it's already going to be loyal. They're going to spread the word, and then it goes like that. Whereas Netflix is just like, I don't know, fucking. It's got this. I like to compare it to like the Nintendo eShop, how there's just a bunch of fucking useless fucking games. That's Netflix. Like they just greenlight everything. There's no quality control.
But then
whereas like HBO Max, there's like quality control because only certain series get greenlit. You know what I mean? Like even Game of Thrones, like the pilot was complete garbage or whatever. Like they had to reshoot 90% of it. And
but
like,
it hit.
It hit. So like they were like, fuck it, now we have to go through with it, you know? And even if it like most HBO series like at least have 2 seasons, you know. With Netflix, if you have 1 season, most likely there's not going to be a second.
Yeah.
Or if there is, it's going to come like 5 years later where you completely forgot about it and don't give a shit about it anymore.
Yeah, that's why like a lot of people are saying like the binge model is probably dead. After this,
I feel like we're giving off Red Letter Media vibes right now. Like this setup is very Red Letter Media right now.
I love those guys.
I know. That's why I'm so happy about it. Actually, like, oh shit.
Like that aesthetic of the binge model was cool and was great, like to get over a show because like genuinely I do sometimes say to myself, like, I don't want to wait a week for the next episode.
And you could do that with
like,
old
like
shows.
you see like Attack on Titan, for God's sakes. Mm-hmm. Like some of their episodes were just like so slow. But
because you were keeping it up week to week, then you were like, oh, I can't wait for the next episode.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, like, whereas for guys who know what's coming up next, like, it's going to get so much better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Whereas, like, if it was binge, like, we'd all just could watch it all. But then, like, you can't have those, like, really boring episodes.
That's what makes anime so exciting, is, like, seeing the fan reaction online to each and every single episode. And then manga readers, like usually ourselves, but are just like, you don't even know.
It was funny because, like, I kind of think back when people were making the argument, like, the binge model is dead. I keep thinking back to when The Mandalorian came out, and I fucking hated that The Mandalorian was weekly.
One by one, yeah.
Because, like, we were so used to the binge model at that point. But then, like, to the credit that people are saying, like, because we kept with it every week, you get to maintain that hype every week.
Like, honestly,
for a month.
I've been watching Mandalorian with my girlfriend now because I gave her a choice. I'm like, do you want to watch the prequels, sequels, or the Mandalorian? She's like, I like Baby Yoda. I'm like, word. And, like, actually watching Mandalorian, binge watching, it kind of decreases the value of it.
Yeah, because some episodes are slow.
The first episode, I remember when I was watching it and Baby Yoda showed up, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
There's a fucking Baby Yoda? And, like, next week it's like, what the fuck? Like, is he gonna use the Force? Like, what the fuck? Like, it had all those questions where it's like, if you have a binge model, like, midway through Mandalorian, I would have been like, I'll pick this up later. That's what I'm doing with Boba Fett. Like, I didn't keep up to it while it was releasing.
Yeah, but even while that show was weekly, that show sucked.
Yeah, no, it sucks. It's really bad. I'm not even to the Mandalorian 2.5 yet.
Yeah,
like,
and it's
still on Boba. I'm like, why does he keep taking his fucking helmet off?
Yeah, for real. Well, like, with that, like, I was like, the first 3 episodes I binged, I waited for the first 2 episodes to come out. I watched all of them, and, like, that was, like, perfect for me.
Yeah.
And then I caught up weekly. But, like, my original thought was, like, I wish it was all just out.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like that. But then, because, like, it's more convenient.
Yeah.
It's convenience for the customer, but you lose that traction in that audience, and you're losing money. And,
like, you're willing to forgive, like, a slow episode if it's weekly. When you're binging, you're just like, do I want to keep up with this? Like, I could just stop now because this is getting boring.
Yeah, you kind of force yourself to keep watching when it's weekly if you're really, if you, like, you know you're going to enjoy it. Whereas, like, binging, it's like
I don't have to keep watching this.
Yeah. And then you lose that like,
because I don't know about you,
viewer.
but I actually kind of hate, this is why I don't like what Netflix is doing. I hate it when I have more options, because then I'm just sitting there for like half an hour or an hour. I'm like, what? I don't know what to watch. I'll pick my top 5, and then, like, I won't finish any of those shows because I'm like, all right, that's boring. I'll just switch to this one. That's boring. I'll just switch to this one. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, with HBO Max and everything, it's like, it's more filtered. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's just me.
I might even ask my brother at this point to just, like, get rid of our Netflix account. Like, because he doesn't really watch it. Like,
you only keep Netflix for those one
fucking show.
1 or 2 shows per year that, like, everyone's like, dude, this is so insane, or whatever.
Because, like, it lost its Marvel categories that kept people on. It lost its big old shows like How I Met Your Mother and Friends.
Yeah.
Like, I'm on Hulu now. I'm on Hulu.
They were really promoting the shit out of Cowboy Bebop because, live action, that is. Because they were like, okay, this will get people on. Like, we can become Netflix, and our thing can be live adaptations of anime, and that's what will keep people coming in. It fucking sucked.
Yeah, trash. But yeah, with that, Netflix might chill.
I find really, and we'll get off the streaming stuff, but I really find, like, streaming politics or, like, business models or whatever, like, really fascinating because it's always changing. Like, everyone thought Netflix was the king, and now because this happened, it's like the game is completely
because there's just better offers. Yeah. Like, Disney is $6 a month for the entire Disney catalog.
Yeah. Marvel. They have fucking Star Wars, one of the most popular franchises.
Yeah, you've got the 2 biggest franchises in the world.
Yeah.
On a streaming service. Sure, Marvel doesn't have all its movies, but you don't need all the fucking.
It's really
movies.
only just the Spider-Man movies because it's Sony.
Because
they have everything else, I think.
I think there's a couple movies missing.
Yeah.
Could be wrong though.
Probably the early MCU stuff.
No,
probably Incredible Hulk. They definitely don't have.
No, they have it. They have it on there.
Do they?
Yeah.
Fucking.
I know, but you're right. It's just the Spider-Man movie that are on.
Yeah, which is Sony.
Yeah, I think it's just Spider-Man Homecoming isn't on there.
No,
just
I don't
Far
think the new
Home.
one. Yeah. Oh, the new one's out now?
Well, No Way Home isn't on there.
Okay.
But Far From Home is. But it's like you've got Disney.
Still, it's
with
like
that
25 movies still. So
you've got HBO. You got HBO with not only HBO's categories. You've got Warner Brothers movies. You've got DC.
You got TCM, which they have a lot of Criterion films.
Yeah, you've got technically Crunchyroll on there. You've got the Studio Ghibli. You got the Studio Ghibli films.
Yep. DC. Well, the DC animated stuff, if you like that.
Yeah, DC animation. Like you have a bunch of shit on there, and then Hulu. Like it's a Disney property, so even if they are losing money off of it, they'll just keep it going because like, they've got the rights to
have like
old
all
shows.
like they have TV shows that are currently aired.
That one, I think people maybe use like Hulu for more of the live TV aspect.
That's what we did. Like, or my family did. We got rid of cable completely, and we just have Hulu Live and have just. I think we have a bundle with Disney Plus and ESPN or something like that.
Yep, ESPN Plus,
and it's cheaper than cable.
It's $12 a month for those three things.
And I really like I don't give a shit about live TV or I don't do I need to watch the news on TV? Like I could just get it online or something like that. So that's like also the appeal of Hulu.
Well, it's mostly for for me, it's mostly like for my parents to get live TV because like my mom loves it.
Or like sports, but I don't give a shit about sports. So live TV.
If my mom doesn't have her ABC fix in the morning, she'll fucking freak out. Like
Good Morning or whatever.
Good Morning America, dude. She'll blow a gasket if she doesn't get to watch that shit. But yeah,
but
Netflix is could really drop the ball here. It really depends on what they're going to do. I think they'll still be fine.
I think their current strategy of fixing everything is not the way to go.
I actually think it is. Because a lot of services do have the ad tier.
Let me clarify. Like the stuff they're doing with the animation.
No, of course I don't.
Okay, all right, that. Gotcha. That's
well, like in terms of their other business model shit. Like I do think they should have like a cheap alternative.
Yeah,
because it will mitigate their quote unquote biggest problem, which is password sharing. It'll get more people on the service. The ads will give them more money. But I don't think cutting content is the way to go because there's no content on there that really is appealing. Like, what am I getting HBO? What am I getting Netflix for?
Yeah,
besides
for the one rare series that everyone
I don't care about Stranger Things. I don't care.
No,
I actually don't even care about Black Mirror. Like everyone fucking loves that show. I don't really care for it.
Apparently, there's like a bunch of legality going on there, so there probably won't be another Black Mirror.
Yeah, there's nothing. Like there's some good original content. But yeah,
literally the only thing I'm excited for Netflix is Love, Death, and Robots. That show is so fucking good. I'm
not even into it. Like I tried it in high school.
I love the anthology style. It's like Black Mirror took a break and Love, Death, and Robots was like, yo,
hold my beer, I'll take your place.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, besides the Netflix thing, because we're over it. Star Wars, speaking of, that you talked about before, Star Wars, me and my girlfriend just watched it for the first time. Well, she did. I've seen it already. I love it. It's favorite.
Now, how like was it a challenge to get her to watch it? Like when you first started dating, she's like, no, I'm not really interested.
I wouldn't say it was a challenge. She was more just like, I don't care enough to watch it.
Right.
It was more like she knows about it. She doesn't like the fans. She thinks they're all losers. I mean, dude. We're drinking beer with shirts that we definitely don't fit in. And so she kind of was like turned off by it, like by the fan base, by how toxic everyone was. Like she heard about the whole like, what's her name from episode 7 getting like completely ripped on. She's like,
oh no, you mean Rose or Ray?
8.
So Rose.
Rose, yeah. She got completely ripped on.
Yeah, that poor lady.
Yeah, like she got kicked off the internet.
Like I agree. Like her character wasn't all that great, but like still, like
she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't make the character.
Well, it even just started with episode 7, where people were like complaining about the diversity and stuff, and it's like, guys, for sci-fi for the longest time, it's just been white dudes running around. Maybe we can change it up a bit. And honestly, the diversity, like in some movies and stuff, like the all-female Ghostbusters and stuff like that was like a little like, oh, this is like different because there's females in it. It's like, that's not. Whereas like this one, it felt like very natural diversity.
Yeah, it wasn't
not like down your
in
throat.
your face, but at the same time, it's like, who gives a shit? Just watch the fucking movie. It's a movie about space wizards.
Yeah,
because a shit if an Asian girl woman is in it. Like, for God's sakes. Except for the Asian audience, which it's important for them. I'm not going to denote that.
Yeah,
but like, at the same time, it's like, for you white men that are complaining, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But
so
it wasn't a struggle. What happened was,
we talked about how like we started watching it as kids, so that's why we overlook a lot of things because it's like, oh, it's Star Wars, it's fun or whatever. But looking through it, like,
my girlfriend, like, she kept asking me questions during the movie, like, why are they fighting the Empire? Why? There was like one thing where she was like, why don't they just fucking do this?
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's a fucking movie about space wizards.
Yeah.
Who play with magic and lightsabers. Who gives a shit? Because
a lot of like movies and television especially try to like make a broader story or like more in-depth politics and stuff like that. Whereas like with the first Star Wars, it's like Empire bad, Rebels good. Let's blow them up. Yeah. And it's just, and that's it. And it's okay to have a movie as simple as that. I mean, like, look at the John Wick movie. It's like, there's no deep analysis about the complexities of complexity of like the assassins and like why they do the things they do. It's like there's a bunch of assassins. There's little snippets, but you're just not like the main focus of it. It's just like John Wick mad, John Wick kill, and it's like, oh. And same with
Star Wars. Like there's like deep things like with the Ben, Yoda, like their past and everything. But like you don't really care for it because you care about Luke. You care
like
about
modern day
Vader.
Movies now would be like that throwaway line kind of where Obi-Wan Kenobi's like, oh, I met your father in the Clone Wars or whatever. Like now in modern movies it'd be like, what's the Clone Wars? Well, the Clone Wars. Whereas like those movies are just like, oh, here's a little snippet of that. Maybe someone will write a book about it or something.
Yeah, she's like, why don't they just explain things more thoroughly? Exactly. And I'm like, you don't need to understand every aspect of the world.
Yeah, when you first watch those movies, like, ooh, what's the Clone Wars? That sounds kind of cool.
Like, yeah, I mean, she was like, oh, I watched the Clone Wars. Like, that was about it. Like, she knows about it, and I watched it. And it's
by the way, this cream soda is very good.
Yeah, right, dude? It tastes all nice
like
and
candy,
creamy, dude. It's awesome. But I was just like, I mean, I'm happy we watched it.
Yeah.
I told her she might like Empire a lot more. It's a little more engaging, because even myself watching A New Hope, like, I was getting, like, real sleepy.
When you watch it as like an adult thing, you're like, I mean, even on, I know, don't crucify me, guys, but like the acting's not great. Like Mark Hamill, especially in those first two movies, is very whiny.
Oh, she is
like a crybaby whiny type of. But I was gonna go with the and it was like, Luke, guy.
Yeah, there it is. She was like Bush.
Like, this is the chosen one.
Bush or something. She was like, who the dude with the mustache in the movie, like his friend. He meets his friend.
In Tatooine?
On A New Hope. In A New Hope, at the end of the movie, when they're about to fight to destroy the Death Star, he meets his friend there.
Oh yeah, the pilot, right?
Yeah, and he's like, "You're fucking here," and Jenny's like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" She's completely fair to say that. Like, who the fuck is this guy?
To be fair, what really saved Star Wars, because like when they finished recording or production and stuff, they were like, this is shit. Like, this is gonna be absolute garbage. Like, what's his name who played Obi-Wan is like, I'm embarrassed to be like even affiliated with this shit. But like, what saved it was George Lucas's wife and the other editors that edited all the other shit. Like, there's some deleted scenes in there where it's real bad, and like, thank God they were like deleted. And like, the editing.
I will say you can
Star
like
Wars.
tell everyone in the movie doesn't want to be there.
Harrison Ford has gone on record. He's like, I fucking hate this franchise.
Yeah.
I hate everything about it.
I don't blame him.
But he's also
Blame
like,
him.
he had a valid point in an interview. He's like, you know, it was weird. Like, there's this giant dude in like a monkey costume. He's referring to Chewbacca.
Yeah.
He's like, I mean, it's fucking weird. But now we don't see it as weird. It's like, yeah, this is Star Wars. This is awesome. But like, I could see how like nothing
When it was
really,
a new idea back then.
Besides
it's
like
what
Flash
the hell
Gordon,
is
like
this?
nothing really existed within that sci-fi realm or whatever. So like, yeah, I mean, from the outside looking in, if you knew nothing about Star Wars and looking into it as an adult, you're like, this is kind of fucking weird. Like what? Like there's just what's a Wookiee?
Yeah, it was her questions were more like, tell me more.
Mhm.
And I was more like, who cares?
Yeah.
It's
Well, I
like
just
it
get
doesn't
mad at,
matter.
like because the only versions we've ever seen, or apparently, I thought we threw them out, but we got the original VHSs. Woo! It's the special edition stuff that I cannot stand and I hate.
My girlfriend didn't give a shit about that. She thought those they were fine.
It just for me, it just seems so out of place. Maybe I don't know what version of the Disney Plus.
Disney
Plus
Plus
is
is
the
the most recent version.
Right, because
Where
I
it's
have
just McClunky.
the DVD versions that first came out with the special edition. So I don't know if they've changed it, because I know in Phantom Menace it's Puppet Yoda still. Like,
Yeah, but then
CGI
the new
Yoda
ones-
was in Clone Wars, but in the most recent version of Disney Plus, it's
He's a
CGI,
CGI,
Yoda.
yeah.
So I don't know what changes have been made since the DVDs came out, but from what I remember, the DVDs were just so obnoxious. Like when they're walking, and then all of a sudden this giant like CGI creature just walks right in front of the camera. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they do have a lot of CGI in the original.
And because it's
No.
CGI and it's an old film, like it's very noticeable.
Yeah, like
And
when
it just
Han Solo walks on Jabba's leg,
Mhm.
it is so noticeable
Oh my
that
God.
he doesn't do
Or
that in the movie.
you know the neck thing when Greedo
that one's
shoots him?
egregious.
Yeah,
It was egregious.
awful.
But
But
she didn't care for that. She didn't care
Yeah.
because she's not looking for it because she's
Yeah.
never seen it before.
exactly.
So to her, in terms of like the quality of the movie
Mhm.
and its production, it's fine. Like
Mhm.
yes, it's dated because it's an old movie written on a budget of like $1 million.
Yeah, barely like a ham sandwich.
Yeah, and so like she can give them a pass for
Mhm.
why it looks the way it does. But the story is what she was more critical
Yeah.
about. She was like, why are they doing this? What are they doing this for? Who do I care about? Why do I
Stephanie
care about them?
Liked Empire, because kind of like what you were saying, there's just a lot more going on in Empire because the whole movie is just a chase scene.
She
the
said
entire
she
time.
likes Han Solo, so
Okay,
she'll
yeah.
definitely
So she'll look.
like Empire
Even though
because Leia
there's a
and
little bit
Han.
of weird vibes with Leia and Han when like she's like, "What are you?" Like, he's going in for the kiss, and she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Nothing." What are you doing? And like he's very persistent.
Yeah,
And like if you rewatch those, it's like, Jesus Christ, Han, like lay the fuck off.
yeah.
Like I rooted for C-3PO when he interrupted them when he was like pursuing them, and I never root for C-3PO. He's an annoying piece of shit, and I don't like him. But like, you know, Han is just very persistent, and it's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, so Star Wars was not a good hit for her. She said it was okay.
Yeah.
And if you ever seen How I Met Your Mother, if your
God.
significant other doesn't like
Mhm.
Star Wars,
Uh-huh.
you might want to consider calling the police. Like it's a crime. It's a crime. I mean, I don't really care. I don't even like Star Wars anymore. That's the problem with all the new shit.
Yeah.
But that's a whole tangent that we are not going to go on.
Mhm. I
Um,
like Lego Star Wars.
I want to play that really bad. But you also mentioned earlier on in the podcast that about your almost 400 view video.
Yeah. So unfortunately, Peter wasn't able to join, but like it was just a surprise to me. I was like, "What the hell?" And the reason there's no video is because I didn't update my drivers, so my OBS was like, "Nah, not happening."
Yeah, because I'm the intern. He may have an IT job, but when it comes to the technical
Yeah.
difficulties of
well, it's because
video production, I'm the one
have,
to go to.
You have a PC that like.
I also know what
its
I'm doing.
Fan doesn't go fucking ape shit every
I
time
also
you boot it up.
know what I'm doing.
Shut the fuck up, dude. It's so annoying. But yeah, so basically,
am I wrong?
The summary of it, still go watch the video, but like me and Marquis basically gave it a 6. We had complaints here and there, but overall we were just like, it's a Marvel movie, it's fine.
See, and I wish I was in the podcast.
Yeah.
Because like I actually really love the movie.
Our main complaint was, or like not complaint, but like my main takeaway from the online discourse was like motherfuckers really just wanted like all of a sudden Hugh Jackman X-Men show up, or like all of a sudden like Ghost Rider, Nicholas, like those
I
were
think
the
that's my only
movies
criticism is not that they didn't have like cameos and shit, more just like different.
Spoilers.
Yeah, screw you, dude. Not you.
Okay.
The guy who hasn't watched it.
I was about to.
The guy who hasn't watched it.
Because if you're watch a Marvel movie, you're too busy watching Scorsese.
What are you too busy watching everything everywhere all at once?
Yeah, you know, a superior film in almost every single way.
Or the Northman
possible, including the Northman.
That movie was so good too.
We gotta talk about that. We gotta talk about it.
But Doctor Strange, my quick little thing is to kind of go off of like the dimension, like seeing other realities.
The multiverse thing.
I wish we saw more universes besides just like the quick like slow-mo thing they do. I wish they did hop through more universes. But they really only showed 3. The main one, the one where you see the Illuminati, and then the one where evil Doctor Strange is.
Yeah, the thing I like the most, and I mentioned it in the podcast, like I really honest to God, and you said this before I even credited you in the podcast, like Doctor Strange works as a secondary character. Really a main lead, not so strong. Like every time Doctor Strange is on, I was like, I want to see Wanda. Like the most interesting part of the movie was Wanda. I loved everything about Wanda, how she basically became a slasher villain. I was like, yes, this is fucking
I like
awesome.
what Sam Raimi did with Wanda and making her like really creepy, like the body horror dysmorphia thing when she's coming out of the mirror, when she's being creepy in the underground. Is like people think she's like zombie Wanda in that scene. It's like no, she's just
and just like the little
Wanda.
stuff like zombie Doctor Strange with ghost corpses as a cape. I mean, that's just fucking cool. Like you can't deny it. It's just fucking cool.
It is very cool.
So, you know, I mean, it's not terrifying or whatever, but I like that, like, he added some horror concepts, because we don't really see that in the MCU.
I don't comprehend why people hate the music scene.
Marquis just said
weird. Why do
it
people
was
don't
awkward.
like it?
Marquis just had, like, kind of like what your girlfriend's argument with Star Wars is. It's like Marquis is like, why doesn't he just, like, do a laser beam? Like, what's this whole elaborate music thing? I'm like, because if the whole thing was just I'm shooting lasers out of my palms, it would be boring. Like that was the first Doctor Strange, like right? Whereas like in this movie, like he's like summoning demons to take out other people for like a second. Like that one, like he opens a portal and like
with that monster thing in the city,
yeah, exactly. Like he at one point tries to hold something up that's far away, so he summons like monster hands from another dimension to pick it up for him or whatever. Like you got to get creative with this stuff. It's magicians. It's Harry Potter. Make it more fun. Now, don't make a giant green racetrack like in Green Lantern, because that's fucking stupid. But like, you know, just do a little fun stuff here and there. Because if it's just like pew pew pew, it's just boring.
I don't know. The whole movie just seemed so crazy at that point. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah,
that he's throwing instruments.
And I like the direction. It was like
isn't
very hammy and like corny. But that's what like superhero movies like are now taken very seriously, and Sam Raimi's not afraid to show the fun and like superhero movies.
I think that's why I liked it a lot. Like it wasn't like it genuinely doesn't feel like a Marvel movie, and that's why I like it a lot more than everything else. Because like it doesn't take itself seriously. The editing is like campy and awesome. Like I love some of the transitions they have with like Wong and like sometimes the explanations of like the multiverse, which also is another criticism, which is that like too much explaining. Yeah, which is fair because it's explaining stuff that does need to be explained, and they're doing it in a very more engaging way with the way the editing is. But it's still like I'm not a goopy goblin Marvel fan. I like movies and
like using that from
what
minus sign. I just want to double check, make sure it's still recording. That's zooming in. There you go.
Yeah, it's still recording.
Okay. Yep. Okay. All right. No, sorry, I had a little mini panic attack.
All right, and come back in.
How they have to explain everything.
Yeah, like I actually said to my brother when we finished the movie, I was like, this would be better off as like a 4-part series.
Yeah.
On Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Like 4 episodes, an hour long. Because at the same time, like you say, Wanda's an interesting character.
Mm-hmm.
I say they wanted to make mothers look bad.
Okay.
She's only murdering people for her kids.
Yeah. So I agree with that. Like
it's really stupid.
In the review, I said like even though at the end of WandaVision it had that little flash scene of her like with the book and her evil, I'm like I wish there was just a little bit something in the middle to like convince me of that turn, because like it just pretty much goes off of, you saw that post-credit scene, right? She's evil now. Where like I would like to see like a little in between section where like you show her actually descending into like madness or whatever, because even though like the post-credit scene of WandaVision was like her with the evil book or whatever, like for the most part, I mean, she saved the day essentially. I mean, sure, she enslaved everyone, but it's a Marvel movie. She saved the day. But now this just comes to the question, like, what the fuck is going to happen with Vision and her? I guarantee we don't see a body. When the building crumbles, she's going to have amnesia. I guarantee, like Marquise said it, and I'm like, that's absolutely where she's going to have amnesia. I 100% guarantee. And that's how Vision's going to get reintroduced, and they're going to have to fall back in love.
I'll just say this to kind of round off the Doctor Strange thing. If you really want to know more about the podcast's thoughts, please check out the video that JJ did. I'll just say I liked it. It's one of my favorites. Not like top 10 or anything, but it was just a lot of fun.
It's honestly like the second or third best Marvel movies that have come out recently. Like I would say, obviously Spider-Man's top, Shang-Chi second, and then for me, Doctor Strange.
I would say it's the most creative one of the most creative ones they've done outside of Ragnarok. Yeah, and it makes me more excited for Love and Thunder. But to kind of give a big criticism of Marvel as a whole, with this movie,
they fucking ruined Moon. Oh, sorry.
With this movie, it's leaving me feeling even more directionless.
It's completely directionless.
Because like this movie feels like it doesn't
really set up shit.
Not that I wanted to.
Yeah.
But it's just more like this feels like what the multiverse that they've been building up in these last couple of movies and with Loki would have been a good way to end with Kane the Conqueror that shows up in Loki.
Yeah, ever since.
But Loki got delayed. But Loki got delayed for its second season because of COVID, which was supposed to be one full season. So like maybe he was supposed to be there. They also had a director change, which made a writing change and madness. So I know that they just came off of their weird drug trip-induced vacation to plan out the next 10 years of Marvel. But like you got a sense of what they were doing with Marvel after Incredible Hulk, when you have the Tony Stark cameo at the end.
Okay.
You get an idea that they want to put these movies together. You don't buy it because Incredible Hulk sucks.
Marvel right now is in a position where they're like, we already know you're going to see the movie. Whereas like in the beginning, phase 1, they had to be like, ooh, there's some intrigue here. Let's check this out. Whereas like they're like, we already know. You want to know what the rest of the story is, right? I mean, you can't skip a movie. You want to know, but you have to watch Winter Soldier. You want to know what's going to happen with these characters.
I think now,
otherwise you're going to get lost. So like even like a mediocre movie, like they're just going to be like, well, you need to know what happens next. So.
Yeah, like Ant-Man and the Wasp was so mediocre that we only all watched it for the end credit scene. And same thing with Captain Marvel. But I know that I saw it online, like a picture. Maybe I'll put it up here if I can find it. Somebody said that it's becoming more like the comic books in terms of the story direction they're going. They have
Yes.
the streets. They have the big multiverse shit.
Yeah.
They have the government shit.
Mm-hmm.
They have the villains of Earth shit.
Mm-hmm.
They have the big space shit.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many different layers. But I feel like you shouldn't divide your fan base so much compared to comics, because with a comic
book storytelling and movie storytelling are two very, very separate things.
Yeah, and a lot of people are thinking it's a cool thing. I think it's all right. Like, I understand the concept that they're going for that. I honestly don't doubt it, actually, because they've got Kane the Conqueror, who's a big fucking deal.
Mm-hmm.
They're building.
He's probably going to be the main baddie.
They're building up this big fucking confrontation.
They're
going to
do Secret
villains.
War. That's what they're
they
building.
Plan on building. They plan on doing Secret War.
Yeah.
They would be stupid not to add Galactus in for whatever reason as a big baddie as well.
Yeah.
Like, they also now have Magneto and Doctor Doom, who, especially Doctor Doom, can be as powerful and crazy as they want.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of different properties and characters to bench off of, and you can. And while they don't have,
the thing is, they have a lot, but they have to pick, or they have to focus on one thing. Right,
you're saying
right now,
focus.
It's very aimless.
Yeah,
right now
it's
for me.
very much just like,
yeah, it's very open and like, well, that's cool or whatever. Like, for a narrative, especially a long narrative, you have to have like something you're. But
that's the thing. Are they maybe changing? Are they maybe doing something different with movies? Because in a way, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with the beginning being Iron Man and the end being, I'm going to just say the Infinity Saga, make it simple.
Yeah.
The Infinity Saga, their main big change in the movie industry was the ability to connect 30 different fucking movies.
Yeah.
However many movies are in the Infinity Saga.
No. Yeah.
In a straight, coherent saga. But now they have all these properties.
Yeah.
They have a ton of fucking characters.
Yeah, like, how do you go about introducing...
How do you go about introducing potentially thousands of new characters?
Yeah.
You genuinely, for me, in terms of a linear story, you can't do that.
Yeah.
It's impossible. You're going to lose people.
Like, people really want... And I understand, because the MCU, like, ever since Phase 4, has been teasing here and there X-Men stuff. And I get the need to, like, let's jump on X-Men. Like, that's all people want to see or whatever. But where do they fit in the narrative? You know, like, how do you just say mutants are here now? It's like, were they always here? How come they were never mentioned before?
Do you even call them mutants?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? Because, like, it's the same thing with, like...
Because, again, the fans really want it, and they're getting mad because Professor X, or a version of Professor X, is dead because Wanda killed her. And then we have...
to pause.
And I get it, because, like, the whole Quicksilver reveal, like, everyone was like, holy shit, in WandaVision, like, the Quicksilver review? Oh my god, like, they're tying it in, and then
what? He's there?
In WandaVision? Yeah, Quicksilver.
Oh, Quicksilver.
From the 21st Century Fox.
Yeah, I thought you meant Silver Surfer. I was like,
no.
fucking in the movie.
No.
Shit.
And then, like, it all amounts to a boner joke. Like, I get the frustration, but, you know, Marvel should listen to that. But at the same time, you can't just be like, fuck it, they want X-Men, right? Fucking just give it to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so if you don't have something in mind for X-Men, just stop trying to tease it, unless if you have an actual concrete plan. Because you're just pissing off people at this point. Yes, I know, though. It's very good. It's very good. Great. Little boy, you scrunch.
Wow. Yeah, it just feels like it's everywhere. And so some people, they like it. To you and me, not so much. But I also am like, maybe, and I was kind of hinting, like, what I'm saying is maybe their new big thing is making a giant spanning multi-issued like universe.
Yeah.
Where there will be a big event like a Secret Wars that brings everyone together, or a Galactus kind of event, or something,
yeah.
or
right
a
now,
new
like,
or a new Civil War to actually make it
I
Civil
don't
War.
see where. So like with the Infinity Saga, like Thanos was sprinkled out throughout. Like the seeds were sown and people were getting hyped about it. Like now it's just like it's the multiverse. But I don't really like the only thing I guess is Kang. But like that's about like there wasn't something like from the very beginning to be excited about or to look forward to. Now it's just like the multiverse is cool. It's like yeah, but what do I have to look forward to? Because like soon enough, people are gonna get tired of this multiverse stuff. Like if you don't do anything special, like what you said, you wanted to see more different realities and stuff, and really they only focused on some weird ones here and there.
That's how they could do the X-Men and
that's how they could, but then
Fantastic Four.
But then you would have to give the old cast. And Hugh Jackman doesn't want to return. He can't return.
You can't bring Chris Evans.
You can bring Chris Evans.
No, you can't.
Oh, right, you can't.
Captain
Fantastic
America.
Four. Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to bring the same cast.
That's exactly it. Like, what exactly does this mean?
Because it'll add to like make. I'll say this, like it'll help with the whole. If they were to do a Secret Wars thing, it would help give the audience the ability to relate to two different sides of the war.
Yeah.
To be like, oh,
like an Avengers versus X-Men type of thing. Like that would be cool.
Like you would be able to be like, oh, these are X-Men from a different universe. We've got to know them through a couple of movies. We don't want them to die.
Mm-hmm.
We also know the Avengers for a long time. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's kind of. Someone said it best. Somebody said like, this is literally like what it feels like to read a comic book with Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what things are going to happen. You don't know how they're going to bring things together. You don't know. There are continuity errors. There are things you're worried about.
Yeah.
Which, as a comic book lover, you like, but as a person who wants to know what's going on, you don't.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a long time before any of us. There's still the fucking Eternals threat too. Like, holy shit. There's
that
so
they
much
still haven't addressed besides like a background gag and I think like Spider-Man or something like that.
Yeah, like there's so much shit.
There's a lot that they have to keep connecting, and like they really haven't been doing a good job of that. Besides, the only thing is like
it's only been 2 movies.
It's
like,
been 4 or 5. It's been Black Widow.
That doesn't fucking count. I said a movie, not
a fever dream.
Yeah, dude.
And shows like the Captain America stuff they still have to connect with. Now Daredevil's thing, how's that going to play a part? Now no one knows who Spider-Man is, so how's that going to play a part? Now the multiverse is here, what's going to happen with America? Like, there's a lot more. Whereas like with the Infinity Saga, there was just like, what up with Thanos?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that was the original idea, is a long linear narrative told between a lot of movies.
Yeah, and now that's all been there for only 5, whereas like Infinity Saga had like I don't know, 15 or
20
something like that.
Yeah, about 22.
Yeah, exactly. So they have a lot of loose ends that they're gonna need to tie together.
And
I mean, hopefully Kevin Feige, after that retreat, came out with some bangers, because fucking Moon Knight,
I will say this,
pull my fucking brains out.
Kevin Feige has been working on these Marvel movies for like even before the MCU. He was working on original X-Men movies as a producer.
Yeah. I think he worked on First Class.
Not just First Class, but like working on like the original X-Men.
Like X2?
Like X1 and X2.
Oh, okay.
Like all those. He worked there as like a correspondent or something, and that's how he got his notoriety to help make the MCU with John Feige. Or not John Feige, John Favreau.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not excited until I see production shoots, until I see trailers. Like I rewatched Infinity War and Endgame. And then, like, without warning, the trailer for Love and Thunder came out. And I was like, damn, Thor is pretty sick.
Yeah.
I want to learn more about him. And then, like, I see Moon Knight, and I'm like, I don't care.
They ruined Moon Knight.
Like, I don't even care if they ruined his character. I don't care.
You should.
I will
because Moon Knight is awesome. He's so cool. But they turned a street-level, violent character into national treasure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you had a layer.
Look,
because Kevin Feige kept saying like, oh, it's gonna be just like the comic books, like the Jeff Lemire stuff, which goes into like the psychology of like Moon Knight and stuff, and like it's basically there's a really cool comic book storyline where it's like, was Moon Knight even real?
Look, JJ, you can't have a Marvel character cut off somebody's face and wear it.
I know.
You and
I'm
I
not
both
expecting
know
that,
this.
but at least some Daredevil type of like, there's a little bit of blood.
You're gonna know. You're gonna learn this the hard way.
You know what?
Too.
They haven't announced Daredevil. You know what they announced? An Echo movie.
Who the fuck is Echo from
Echo.
Overwatch?
No, Echo from Hawkeye. She's a deaf superhero, and Kingpin and Daredevil are going to be in the show. And it's like, why not just make a Daredevil show? And they're like, Echo, and I'm like, no one gives a flying fuck about Echo. No one cares.
Well, that one deaf kid does.
Sure.
He'll still not able to watch it.
Sure. No, he'll be able to watch it. He just has to put on subtitles. You fucking idiot. You fucking dumbass. Stupid bitch.
Maybe I need a subtitle.
Yeah.
But that's it for Marvel Corner.
Yeah, I'm done with Marvel. Every release, I'm just not excited. I'm just like, I wonder what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Puppy, for freaking up the
audio. I know.
Love you, dude. But real quick before we end off, because we've been talking for like an hour now.
Mm-hmm.
The Northman, you saw that a little bit ago. What'd you think?
It's so good, so good.
You know, it's funny. I really liked it.
I loved
it a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
then like a YouTuber that I watch started playing like the God of War game that came out on PS4, and I was like, what the fuck, man? What's with all this good ass like Norse shit?
Yeah.
And then I was talking about it at work, and somebody that you know, I told them to watch it, and he came back to me. He's like, why the fuck did you make me watch that? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, not like it was shit. It was more like, I liked it a lot. Like, it was really cool. Like when the fights came on, like, it was shot really well. But like, other than that, like I didn't really know what the fuck was going on. And like, to be fair, like a lot of shit does happen in that movie.
Yeah.
To where you're like, what the fuck is going on?
But
and
when
I
you
liked
watch
it a
the
lot.
movie, then information gets more revealed as you keep watching the movie. It's not.
I don't know.
Why is doing action scene? Marvel movies have ruined the mentality of moviegoers. It's so dumb. Like, have you seen that clip where like people are like, so Marvel could do like independent movies, but in their own universe, and like critics will love it because it's an independent movie. Like, it could just follow the lives of people during Endgame and like how people disappeared, and just have it not focused on superheroes at all. I'm like, so you not only have you already ruined the indie scene for like, because Northman had like 3 or 4 showings for me, and then like the rest of it was just Doctor Strange. It was like, motherfucker, like I have to choose between an 8 a.m., a fucking 6 p.m. or a fucking 10 p.m. and my girlfriend doesn't get out until like 5, and she has a 1-hour commute. Like, huh? Like, Marvel, this is why I say it is ruining like independent films. Why the fuck was Scorsese, The Irishman, on Netflix? Are you not gonna let Scorsese be shown in theaters? Well, no, because we need to show more clips. In fact, I'll send you the clip. Just show the Tarantino clip where he explains that like they had to push out Once Upon a Time in this prestigious theater, because otherwise Disney was going to pull all their movies from that single individual theater.
That's
bullshit.
I wouldn't say it's Marvel then at that point.
It's Disney. Would say it's Disney. Yeah, that's what when I say Marvel, I meant Disney. But anyways, I'm sorry. It's a very big tangent.
No, because I bring it up because it's like, we watched The Northman, and I think we will both agree on this. We don't really go into too much detail. We can talk about some of our favorite scenes, but it's a good fucking movie. It's
very good.
It's not his best.
No,
Lighthouse
it's
is
his
his
most
best movie.
Mainstream one.
He got like a $30 million budget on this.
Yeah, and like you can kind of tell he wanted to do a little bit more, but like they kind of held him back a little bit. But besides that, I mean, it's still fucking a 9 out of 10 for me. I fucking loved it. But like Lighthouse is on a completely different level, and then Witch is also like they're almost equal.
And-
like maybe a little step
And
below.
what stinks
but-
about it is like he gets this big ass budget, but like even though nothing came out between when it came into theaters and when when it was put to bed with Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
they didn't make its money back.
No.
Because only competition was Everything Everywhere All at Once,
Yeah.
which probably did do better.
It actually
than the
did
Northman.
do pretty good. Yeah. It did well. It did better. Yeah.
Because I bet you the budget is also significantly lower
Mhm.
than the Northman.
People don't want like a long drama like where you have to like really pay attention, unless if it's a series. Like they just want like just show me fun stuff. Show me the fun stuff. Where it's like Norseman like really takes its time. The pacing is a little slow at first. Like, well, it starts off with a bang with like what happens in like I'll say like the first 20 minutes, and then it kind of slows down a little bit, and then you know it has action scene. It doesn't have action scenes every fucking 5 minutes. It's like evenly paced out drama, action scene. Whereas like
Not even. There's like maybe 4 action scenes. in the
yeah,
entire
exactly.
movie.
But they're big and grand, and you're like, oh my god, I waited for this, and it was totally worth it. And in between those action scenes was like really compelling stuff.
And like some really cool like Norse mythology shit.
Yeah,
Like I think one of my favorite scenes in the movie
Mhm.
was when he's
fighting that skeleton.
Yes.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yes, because I was watching it and I was like, and I'm still playing Elden Ring like crazy. And I'm watching it and I'm like at the edge of my seat, I'm like getting the same tension I felt when I was playing Elden
Yeah.
Ring. And
well,
like,
you're getting
I
attention because it's not based on an existing property, and you don't know whether these characters are going to live or die.
well, I knew he wasn't gonna die from that, but like,
I mean, in all of the movie.
yeah. I was more just like the intensity of fighting like a creature that's stronger than you
Yeah.
was like very similar to me dying 100 times to a boss in Elden Ring,
Mhm.
and I was like, this is awesome.
And you're like,
And then-
how exactly is he going to defeat him? And then
And it's just
it's
a
the
cool
moonlight, right?
Yes, the moonlight that comes in, and then like you learn that he's like it also plays this really cool trick where is like any of this Norse shit real?
Yeah, and it's
Like,
just all in his
what
head.
the
entire
fuck is
time.
it in his head or is
Yeah.
it not? Like you really don't know.
Well, that's the reason why there's not a lot of historical records in Viking times is because they didn't really write anything down. That's where the word saga comes from, is spoken word, spoken story, basically. So like, there's no concrete, like even with the Norse mythology stuff, like no one really knows the exact stories. They just know like the general.
Like, what's
Think
it
of
called?
what
Isn't
So like,
that famous Beowulf?
yeah,
Like that's completely spoken.
yes, yep.
Like everything that's about it is.
And the
what
thing
people
about
can
it is,
remember.
like, sure, the person might be based on a true character, but then they throw in, like, and then he fought a skeleton. Well, obviously, he didn't really fight a skeleton, but in that saga and story, it's spoken word to kind of, and that's what, like, this
Wait, so is
movie
this based on something?
represents. It's based on a saga. It's based on a Viking saga. It,
Anything
like
specific?
from different
Different
like
stories.
there's some Thorkel in there, and there's some other famous Viking figures and stuff. So like it's like a mashup. It's like a greatest hits kind of thing.
I was gonna say, wait, yeah, dude, it's like, cause like I've been on this kick of like Viking shit. We
Viking-
talked about Vinland
Viking
Saga
time
before.
period is great. It's
Like,
awesome.
I don't know if you've played the game. I think I've mentioned you should play it. Hellblade: Senua's Saga.
Yeah, I finished it. It's awesome. I love it. So good. So fucking good. But what I love about Robert Eggers as a director is that, number one, there was actually an interview where the interviewer was like, would you ever think about making a movie in modern time? This is his exact where he just went, no, thank you. That's all all he said. He didn't say why. He didn't say, it's like,
I would be
No.
more. I think he probably said that because he's like, I'll make whatever the fuck I want.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
if it's in modern time, it's modern time.
He's very good with like research and stuff. Like the lighthouse is like very authentic.
It's based
stuff
off
like
of that like really that story about
Yep.
the 4 fishermen the 4 lightmen that disappeared.
Yep.
Loosely based off it. It's not directly
Yeah,
associated
yep.
with it.
Like a lot of it is like based on his story, but like very loosely.
The witch is about witches
Yep.
in like Salem and all that shit. So like
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, all of it was incredibly historically accurate. Like I feel like there's all of a sudden like a big like interest in Vikings and stuff like that, and I kind of dig it because I used to not really give a shit about Vikings. I thought it was really boring period of time. Like, oh, what? It's just a bunch of warriors that yell whatever. But like, there's a lot more to that, and I wish this had been a little bit more successful because I want more Viking stuff. I mean, it's cool, it's awesome. That whole
we're
time
getting
period.
it. We're getting it, dude.
Yeah.
Ragnarok coming
For
out
some
for God of
reason,
War.
You would think
Vinland
like
Saga Season 2.
You would think like Greek mythology, right? Because everyone knows Greek mythology. The movies are all that are based on it are pretty. Like I can't say, oh, this is the definitive like Greek thing
Troy.
or whatever. Fuck, you're right. Or no, Gladiator's Roman, right?
Gladiator is Roman.
Roman, yeah.
Troy.
But I mean, like
300.
Like,
JJ doesn't know movies.
yeah, I don't know movies.
He's a flyer.
yeah.
But like, we don't have a good one that you
Like,
could
they
say
keep
is
trying it, like, Wrath of
Egyptian.
Titans.
There's Egyptian stuff too.
Yeah, but not
The
like
gods
Egyptian
of
gods and
Egypt.
stuff. But that was bad. No one
Great
liked it.
movie.
No.
I watched that movie.
That's the one with Christian Bale,
unironically.
right?
No, it's the one with no,
What
yeah,
am I thinking of?
no, that was you're thinking of a different movie.
Yeah.
Gods of Egypt is that really shitty movie with the Game of Thrones guy.
Sean Penn?
No, Jamie's actor.
Oh, I don't know his name,
He
but
plays,
I know who you're talking about.
Osiris.
Prince Charming.
He plays Osiris.
Mhm.
Or does he play Ra?
Yeah.
I don't remember. It's one of those.
Like,
two.
regardless-
Ra. He plays Ra.
Like, I just kind of wish this was more successful, so we got more Viking stuff. I mean, we got Vikings Valhalla, which was pretty cool on Netflix, but
I was gonna say you got Vikings. We're getting a God of War Ragnarok game. Vinland Saga Season 2.
it's a weird push. Like, I don't know where it came from, but all of a sudden,
Hellblade 2 is coming out. So there's a small push for it.
Mhm.
Like, I've read a bunch of Viking shit. I read this book called like Brotherhood.
Okay.
That was like a Viking thing. What else? I played Age of Mythology,
Mhm.
where like the last half of the game is Norse characters that you play as because you go through Greek, Egyptian, then Norse.
And I think with like Viking stories, it's like everyone loves a revenge tale, and like Viking stuff is like
It makes
perfect.
sense for it because
Yeah.
most Viking,
Most
from
of it
what
is
we
like
know,
someone killed my father, I must avenge him.
from what we know about Viking culture, is they just fucking
Mhm.
fought.
Yeah.
Hey, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, dude. That shit.
That shit was pretty good.
I will never play it. It looks like a lot of hours that I don't have. I'd rather replay Persona 5 than fucking
You know, honestly,
do that.
this might piss off some Assassin's Creed fans, but I actually liked like aspects of Odyssey because it didn't have any of the Assassin's Creed bullshit in it. Like, I don't care about the ongoing story of
Wasn't
Assassin's
the lore
Creed.
now just you're playing a video game in a video game?
You're playing a simulation or whatever in the analyst. What is it?
Do the
Animus? Is
yeah,
that
the
it?
Animus.
Yeah.
Aren't they like? Isn't it the Templars that run it though? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, some shit like that. But again, I don't give a fuck about that. Like, I just want a cool historical RPG. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But what, like, so with the Norsemen, I really enjoyed like how it kind of goes there. Like when he captures a bunch of guardsmen, or I think they're guardsmen, and he just like pulls them apart and like displays it. Like, that's not really violence that was really shown on the mainstream thing. You know what I'm talking about? Where he cuts off the limbs and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
even
I
I
know.
was taken aback. I was like, oh, like I expect it from him because he's part of the Witch and stuff like he's done the Witch, he's done Lighthouse and stuff like that. But like I felt like even like my girlfriend and even Marquise was like, what the fuck?
yeah, it's
Like
It's on the border-
It blends perfectly of mainstream and like indie.
so. I think the best transition from getting out of the mainstream
Mhm.
into this new, more mature mainstream
Right.
is Dune and the Batman.
Perfect.
They're
example,
very
yeah.
much, in terms of introducing people into a more mature version
Mhm.
of mainstream movies
and storytelling. Yeah.
and storytelling. Then you have like other types of mainstream mature movies like John Wick.
Yeah.
Actually, never mind, not John Wick. I would say Dune really starts it, and then you have two different versions.
Mhm.
You have the Batmans of the world,
Mhm.
which are set in something that we all are known. We know what it is. It's nothing crazy, but it's taking a much more dramatic tone and a much more serious tone that The Dark Knight tried to establish.
Yep.
Even The Dark Knight brings us to a more mature thing, and Dune is just a new iteration of that. And then you get The Northman, which The Northman and Everything Everywhere All at Once. They're mature movies that can do really well in mainstream. Because they are, as much as The Northman is like, has a disgusting amount of money behind it. To many people, it's an indie movie because nobody fucking cares about it.
Yeah. Because it's not based on anything. It's not based on
anything.
It's not based on comic books.
It's just loosely based off of Norse shit.
Yeah.
And then same thing with Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's just a movie that isn't based on anything. It's just a movie. And they're all indie because at least that one, Everything Everywhere All at Once, has a really small budget.
Yeah.
And is behind A24, which only does
small budget
movies.
Like, they probably spent the most on Norseman.
Yeah, was A24 a part of it?
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe Green Knight. I don't know.
There's the Green Knight too. Like that's also part of this new push for mature mainstream movies. But like, let's take those 5 movies as an example. Yeah. Only 2 of them have done well. Yeah. And the other 3, while critically have done well, I wouldn't count Everything Everywhere All at Once. We really haven't seen how far it'll go after the next year, for how long its run is in theaters. It still is in theaters. But like the Green Knight and the Northman, like I've seen the box office numbers for the Northman. They're nowhere near returns.
Yeah.
They are so
like that's why they're putting it on demand right now.
Yeah,
to make at least some of their
to make their money back by getting the $14 for.
Like I wanted to go see Green Knight, but there were never any showings that. Like,
I watched it on Prime.
Yeah,
I watched it on Prime. That's how I watched the Green Knight. Like those were easy to digest. They were through like different means, but like commercially, they're not successful in the eyes of producers and investors. Because they're not making their money back, no matter how many people respect the directors or the studios behind them or the stories they're telling or the critics who are praising them. If I don't see money, I do not care.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucks. That really sucks because like this should be the new mainstream and hopefully it will be. And maybe
I feel like with the success of Everywhere All at Once, everything Everywhere All at Once, there will be a little bit of, because now people are like, oh, at least, or A24 is like, oh, at least there's some interest in this kind of thing.
Like A24 has a good reputation between producers in all of Hollywood.
Well, because they let the directors and writers do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
Whereas like with mainstream, it's like, well, the test audience didn't really. It's like there's no test audience in A24. It's just like, here's
we made
money.
This movie.
We like you as a creator. Do what you want to do.
We like your idea. We'll try it out. All right, let's.
It's still recording. Yeah, like 7:25.
So we still got time?
Yeah, if we want to wrap it up real
quick. Yeah, we'll wrap it up. So, real quick, The Northman, like we said, it's a good movie. If you're able to watch it on demand, definitely do it. Give the money and support to them. Like we're saying, small, new ideas aren't being pushed.
Yeah.
And it's because we don't care. People don't care enough to watch them. I understand. I don't want to go to a movie theater anymore. But if we want to get good movies that aren't 70 showings of Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Motherfucker really watched Dune at home.
I have a good surround sound system.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I'll watch whatever the fuck I want at home if it's available. I will. I'm not even kidding.
Dune.
I'll watch Dune again at home if I want it. Because I can. I got HBO Max, dog. And I want to watch the Batman. 4K TV surround sound. But yeah, that has been it for Anime on the Rocks, where we talk about anime for the first 15, 20 minutes. And then we decided to talk about literally everything else. Because we're fake weebs.
We are fake watch weebs. Anything. We don't care about anime. All of you are pedophiles.
Yo, for real. So I would say at the end of this, check out JJ's new podcast with Markeith. It's doing big numbers. We'd love to see it do even more numbers. Yeah. Check out our channels, Sinister Sheep, Black Hudson, and Offline Studios. Check out Markeith's channel. And we'll keep you guys updated on what comes next when we have ideas of what we want to do.
Yeah.
So leave a comment, subscribe, like. Sharing is the biggest thing out of everything. Get the YouTube algorithm to like us. So that way...
I don't want to have to just post Marvel movies in order to see numbers. Because I feel like that's what that was.
You know I will.
Yeah.
You know.
I might just title this Doctor Strange movie review part 2.
Oh my god. Yeah, they'll only 15, 20 minutes of Marvel. Let me just shit on it.
I mean, we did talk about Marvel for a long time. I might just say Streaming Wars and Marvel.
Actually, it's not a bad one because we talked about 2. We technically counts.
Yeah.
So yeah, check us out there. Check us in our socials that we'll have in the description probably.
Yep.
And yeah, JJ, anything else?
Watch.